Wow, that was slightly scary. I was just starting this video and my iPad that I'm recording it on just fell over. So I'm going to have another go. So hi, this is Crafty Carol and I'm here with my second part of 7 suggestions for sexing up sentiments. You can find all the details on my Craft Along blog on my website, craftycarolscards.co.uk, and you can find the first video in this series on my YouTube channel or on that blog. So for the cards that I'm making to show you different ways to use sentiments, I've used a couple of stamp sets. The first one is the painted poppies, because I wanted the cards to look all similar so you could see the difference the different sentiments made. Beautiful set, and it comes with a matching set of dies called the painted label dies, and they are all falling off here. I use them so much they don't really stick anymore. So these are the dies, and you can see they cut out the poppies themselves, they cut out the leaves. I did so many to make these cards, and they've got these lovely frames. And the final one I told you about last time used some of those frames to jazz up sentiments. So this is the set I'll be using for the decoration. For the sentiments, I'm using this lovely Peaceful Moments set. And it actually came originally with some Poppy Moments dies, which I have used in the final card that I'm going to show you today. But I love this set. It's got the most beautiful fonts and mixes of things in it. And one of them lends itself, this sort of mix of a plain font with a fancy font really lends itself to the next technique I'm going to show you. So I showed you the first 4 ideas that I had last time. So this time I'm going to show you the rest of the 7, 3 more. First one I'm going to show you is, it's very simple, but it's cutting around the sentiment. So you don't need any particular shape, you just literally follow round the words. And that's why I said that this particular set, the Peaceful Moments, because you've got the mixture of the plain and fancy fonts within the sentiment, it makes it really effective to cut round them. It wouldn't be very effective, for example, if you had this sentiment here. You shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did, which is beautiful, but if you cut round it, it would basically just be a rectangle. So it wouldn't look so good. It would just look as though you've been not cutting properly with a trimmer, I think. But this can make it quite effective. So just cut out, round the words, stamped on a bit of scrap basic white, raised up on dimensionals, and you immediately get a nice effect from that. I had said in the previous video, I'll just repeat it about the cards I've used. So I've used a basic white card base, 21 by 14.8, scored at 10.5, and the DSP that I've used in the background is 7.5 centimetres by 11.8. So that's cutting around Happy Birthday. So I wanted to show you another card with using a different sentiment. So this uses the Life is Better with a Friend Like You sentiment. And again, just cutting around it, raising it up on dimensionals, puts a really nice focal point on your card using the sentiment. So snipping round sentiments is another good way to sex them up. The next thing I've done is done a couple of cards which are just highly embellished, and that's my 6th idea for sexing up sentiments, which is to use embellishments more. So here I've done a sentiment and just done a little chevron shape at either side, but I've stuck it on ribbon. So to do that, because I've used DSP for the card background, it's difficult to stick ribbon around DSP without damaging the DSP. So I always tend to stick my DSP on a card base. So here I've got a card base which is 8 by 12.3, and I've stuck my piece of DSP onto the card base and then wrapped the ribbon around the card base. So I've wrapped the ribbon around twice, added a bow, stuck my sentiment on top, and I've also added other embellishments. I've added some little brushed brass butterflies. I struggle to say that. One of the lovely embellishments in our catalogue. So adding embellishments can really jazz up a sentiment as well. And I've done one which isn't quite in the same set. It still uses the poppies, but this was using one of the lovely lattice papers that we had. I think they're retired now. But again, just to show you a different effect, making the background more ornate, and then just using a coloured and embossed sentiment. Embossing was one of the things I suggested last time. I've just again flagged the end of it, and that's just embossed in silver, one of the metallic embossing powders. Beautiful little shimmer on it, and that again gives you a lovely effect and really brings the sentiment out and shows it to its best. So my final idea, my 7th idea, my 7th suggestion for sexing up sentiments, if I keep with the alliteration theme, is to make the sentiment itself the cornerstone of your card, the centerpiece of the card. So for this card, again, I've used the same DSP cut sized base, but I've also used, I'm trying to find them, I thought I had them, yes I have, here they are, there. It's a lovely new die set called Beautiful Shapes, and it has this lovely set of hexagons. It also has some circles and a sort of wavy circle, plus these interesting looking rectangular ovoid type shapes and various other little shapes to go with it as well. So I've used the hexagons from this, and I've used the biggest and the third and the second size, not the smallest size. And all I've done is cut out in my colour scheme that I've been using for these cards, and my real red, my basic black. This is actually the centre from one of the poppies in the Poppy Moments dies, which is rather nice. That's what I've used in that to keep with the poppy theme, I suppose. I just wanted something on here that wasn't a gem. And I've coloured it with Wink of Stella too, but you can't, I'm not sure if you can see that so well, but it is. It's nice and sparkly. So I've cut out the third size hexagon, third side hexagon in black, 2 in black, 1 in red, the largest one in black, and then the smaller one, 2 in red, 1 in white, and then stamp the sentiment on the white one. Raised this setup on dimensionals, just stuck them together, added a little bit of bling, and I think that's really quite an effective card. So those are my 7 suggestions for sexing up sentiments. And of course you can do that with any other colour scheme and any other type. So what I did just to finish, I made the sentiment the focal point again, but this time I actually cut out hexagons from the reverse of these background sheets that I've been using in the cards, which have colour on them. This paper set DSP is actually retired now, it's called Pattern Party, but there is a set in the new catalogue called Perfectly Penciled, which is very, very similar and has very similar patterns on it, which would do perfectly if you want to copy these cards. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all the different ways that you can sex up sentiments, sort of from making them the focal point, to adding lots of embellishments, to cutting out the sentiment. I'm not going to get all these in shot, but you can see embossing sentiments, using layering dies, using frame type dies, just simply cutting scrap card in different ways, using the trimmer to get the parallelness for those slanted cuts, or simply stamping your sentiment on the front of your card. So those are all the ways I've thought of, 7 simple ways, seven simple suggestions for sexing up sentiments. I hope you've enjoyed these little videos. Please do go to my website, sign up for my emails, and you'll find out more about what I do, and subscribe to this YouTube channel too, and then you'll get, when I put new ones up, you'll see those too. Thank you for joining me today, and see you again soon. Bye.